Hi everyone, and thank you so much for watching. So we're just going to go ahead and jump right into the video. I'm going to go ahead and do some foundation. I believe this is the Urban Decay All Nighter that I'm using. I'm just putting it on with a beauty blender. It is a little light for me, so just don't mind that. So we're just going to do this on half of our face right now. And now we're going in with some Tarte Shape Tape, some concealer, and making sure that's all blended. And then we're going to be going in with some setting powder. It's the NYX setting powder that I'm using right here in a big kind of kabuki brush. I'm just going to go in and set that to make sure that's all dry. And next we're going to be going in with the Anastasia Brow Wiz in, I believe this is Granite. And we're just going to be going ahead and doing that. And then the next thing we're going to be using is some Dip Brow pomade on an eyebrow brush just to fill in the rest. And I'm trying to grow out my eyebrows so they do look a little rough. And next we're going to go in back with the concealer, and we're just going to be cleaning up the eyebrow. And that's that Tarte Shape Tape again, cleaning up both the bottom and the top for more defined brow. And now I'm going in with the Prism Palette by Anastasia, and I did have a full clip of this, but my camera didn't record that, so I don't have it. I don't remember what colors I used, but I believe it was Parallel, Eden, Saturn, and I think it's Dimension. We're going in with that. You'll see the look in the next couple seconds of what that is. And I also did a cat eye too with one of my liners. One of my liquid liners. I did a cat eye and added some mascara. You could definitely add some false lashes here to make the look more dramatic. And I also, in this clip, went in, it doesn't show it, but I used a bronzer and blush as well. And now I'm just covering up my eyebrows, again with that Tarte Shape Tape. Oh, and before I even did this, I actually glued that eyebrow down with some Elmer's clear glue. You can also go in with like an orange or a red eyeshadow to help cover it even more. I didn't do that, I just kind of went with it. Now moving on to some orange face paint. This face paint is by Snazaroo. It's a water activated face paint, and I bought it off Amazon. I actually just bought like a kids party face paint kit, so just smaller quantities, but they last a while. And I know it looks really uneven. I did go over it with some orange shadow too, just to kind of set that. Now I'm going in with a black shadow and outlining kind of where, defining more, those loops and stuff like our face is melting. So I'm just going through and using a black shadow, I believe it was. It's from the Kat Von D Matte Metal palette that I have, but you can use any black shadow that you want to. I'm just going through and doing that. Oh, and also I outlined this with a NYX white pencil, but it was too highlighted, so didn't really look right. So that's me also trying to cover that up too. You can kind of see it on my forehead a little bit. And or maybe now I'm setting my orange shadow, I don't know. So I didn't do my eye, and you'll see here in a minute, and it didn't record that either. But before we do that, I'm going to go in and kind of put some shadow, black shadow. No, wait, no, I'm not. I am taking some black face paint and putting a nose, like a triangle shaped nose, kind of like a jack-o'-lantern. I'm kind of putting that on there, just in a triangle form. And I didn't record this part, but I also do like a triangle shaped eye, which you don't see. Again with that black Snazaroo face paint, and then I also do kind of a jack-o'-lantern style mouth, which you don't see either, but you'll see it here in a minute. But I don't, my camera just didn't record that, and I don't know why. But I think you get the idea of what a pumpkin looks like. So we're just doing that. And I'm doing under my nose too, kind of a little bit, to make sure there's no orange. That's kind of weird. So here we're setting everything with black shadow, and again, this is that matte metal palette from Kat Von D. So I'm just setting everything with that black shadow. And you can see that triangle there and the mouth. I used face paint on everything. I don't really have like black liquid lipstick. And then setting everything with shadow. And now what I'm doing is drawing lines with a brown shadow, kind of to, I guess, well, you know what a pumpkin looks like, kind of like that. So we're going to do that all over the half of our face, with just a brown shadow. You can use any brown shadow, just make sure it's not like a shimmery shadow. And we're kind of following the curvature of our face, so they're not completely straight. They're just following the curves of our face. And here we are now shading in kind of where those curves are, where those lines are, to give us the effect that it's really kind of 3D. I'm trying to achieve that, but with me in my first tutorial, I don't know if that's working, but I tried. And you can use a black shadow, you can use a brown shadow too. I believe I used a mixture of those. And you're going to do that down each one, and kind of where you would see more shadow on your face. It's definitely more on the nose and over here. And also I kind of did it on my chin, like that was the ground. You don't see that in these clips. Again, it either stopped recording, I wasn't paying attention, or something. And then I'm just making sure that that's well blended. I know some of it's not blended, but I just went with it, and I'm starting to get really hot. So here I'm taking like a yellow shadow, yellow white shadow, and trying to do a highlight. I don't know if I really liked the yellow. I mean, either way, it didn't affect the end result. I think I went over it with an orange shadow to make it less yellow. I believe the palette, though, that I used was NYX. For the orange shadows, I used the NYX, not a NYX palette, a BH Cosmetics palette. I think that's what I used. But I do this through all of the lines, and I don't know if I liked it, because I think I went over it with an orange shadow again, but it created more of a highlight to those patterns, and some of it just looked weird and brown, and I don't know. It could be because my brush wasn't actually clean. Okay, so here that you will see that I blended those black lines in with some black and brown shadow to kind of give it some more dimension, because those lines were looking real flat, and I did go over it with some orange shadow, so it did help that yellow. But now I'm going in with Mehron 3D gel. I got it off Amazon. I heated this up in some really hot water to make it liquidy. You don't want to make it too hot though, because it was hot on my face, so I don't recommend using boiling water, which I think is what I did. So it did take a little longer to dry. So I'm just putting it on where I think the lines are where a melting face would be. So that's kind of what I'm doing here. And you'll just want to do this, repeat this process over and over. And what you could also do is use some foundation to blend it more with the other half of the face. Because to me it kind of looked a little off, but I just left it. So I just kind of keep going over it and over it. And this stuff is messy, so make sure you have like paper towels, or you have a towel on you, or an old shirt. I was wearing a good shirt and I spilled some on me. So make sure you're careful. So just do that until you think it looks okay, and this is where I stop. And this is the final look, and not too bad for a first try. So I do have another video that I will be putting up, so kind of stay tuned for that. Hope you guys liked it, and make sure to leave any comments or suggestions or anything like that down below. And I will talk to you guys soon.